Despite all the extraordinary efforts, the government and health system workers are still struggling to bend the curve of growing cases caused by the latest variant of the virus. 5 more people died today and 30 million tested positively. Citizens are now required to wear masks when they step out to the balconies of their isolation facility.
All right. Shalom. It's the brother Zachariah come back to you with another Highways and Byways lesson. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the others of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there that are laboring, enduring the elements, making your body a living sacrifice while trying to seal the elect and making your calling and election assured. Shalom. Shalom to you sisters, man, that are out there that are learning, listening, applying, being obedient to your husbands. Shalom. Again, brother Zachariah come back to you with another lesson out here on the Highways and Byways. On this, I guess you could say it's a beautiful Saturday. You know, a lot of clouds out, you know, you know, it's a overall beautiful day. Come out, you know, you know, try to seal the elect, you know, making our calling election assured. All right. So today's lesson, I'm gonna title it "Could Walmart closings lead to FEMA camps?" Okay. Could Walmart closings lead to FEMA camps? All right. Now, some may believe that FEMA camps are a little far-fetched, but the Holy Scriptures back up that idea. You know, according to Revelations 12:12, you know, we understand that the devil, you know, aka Esau Edom, will come down with having great wrath. All right, he will usher in his MOTB, and those who refuse will be removed from society, you know, or put down, you know, put to death. Okay. So here is an example of, you know, these so-called camps, you know, which people will say, oh, man, it's all conspiracy and things like that. You know, when they went back into this so-called pandemic, you know, this is over in China, you know, Moab, you know, with the quarantine camps.
Once in the news for building hospitals for COVID-19 at breakneck speed, a record 8 days in the year 2020. China is now in the news for these quarantine centers and makeshift camps. No, we are not in 2020, and the novel coronavirus is not novel anymore. As the world has moved on, learned to live with the virus and work its way around it, China is stuck in time. China is infamous for being the host country to the novel coronavirus and the worst for hiding the truth from the world, even misleading the WHO and blaming other countries for the outbreak. If you think the COVID crackdown measures are brutal, then what do you feel about this? These people locked up in quarantine camps being treated worse than prisoners. Toilets are being used as quarantine centers, inhuman living conditions in quarantine camps. Children isolated from their parents. The risk of infection continues to be low in the capital city of Beijing. However, makeshift camps are coming up here as well. The Chinese people continue to suffer. They are made to pay for their stay in these quarantine camps as the government monitors health status digitally through COVID passports.
All right, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 16, and I'm going to start at verse 71. And it says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses." Okay, this is these so-called troops going around. You know, some of us would call them FEMA troops and things like that, or you know, of the UN. But ultimately, they're going to go around pulling people out of their homes. All right, and then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. You know, and that going into the elect, those who you know, resist. They didn't go take the MOTB, you know, which we're going to get into that in the next lesson. But, you know, these individuals will refuse it, you know. And so this devil's going to go around pulling people out of their homes, you know, because there's going to be another lockdown coming and stuff like that. You know, we don't know if maybe they'll push another pandemic, which, well, technically we do because, you know, crazy Joe Biden has been saying it.
We do need more money. But we don't just need more money for vaccines for children eventually. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. We have to think ahead. And that's not something the last outfit did very well. That's something we've been doing fairly well. That's why we need the money.
You know, so, you know, that's one thing. But, yeah, you know, these devils are going to go around, you know, pulling us out of our homes, man. And they're going to drag you somewhere. They're either going to force the MOTB on you, or they're going to take you to one of these so-called camps. You know, perfect example, like I showed you in the previous video. You know, but we also understand that Esau tampers with the weather. You know, that shouldn't be a secret. So with that being said, no, I don't smoke. I'm just teaching the Bible, man. All right, so we understand that Esau tampers with the weather, so that shouldn't be a secret. So with that, you know, being said, you know, we know that the devil has his eyes set on the northern kingdom, which he has it on all the tribes. But you know, there's this video clip where he's specifying the Native Americans, which or the tribe of Gad.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency has developed a new strategy to better engage with hundreds of Native American tribes facing climate change-related disasters. The agency announced plans to include the 574 federally recognized tribal nations in discussions about possible future dangers from climate change. FEMA has earmarked $50 million in grants for tribes pursuing ways to ease burdens related to extreme weather.
All right, this is the book of Sirach, chapter 12, start at verse 10, and it says, "Never trust thy enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away." You know, like you seen in the video clip, you know, they're talking about this climate change and all that, which we know his man has a hand in it. And he's going to use that as, you know, the so-called FEMA going in there trying to act like they're helping out Gad, you know. And we know that this devil has motives, you know. I got another precept, you know, just to back it up. Actually, it's here in the same book, Sirach chapter 12, but just on down to verse 17. And it says, "If adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first." So, you know, if you're dealing with this bad weather, you know, unlikely weather, and it's, you know, coming upon you and stuff like that, unusual weather, and then this man shows up, best believe the man was already there. You know, you will find him there first. You know, adversity. You know, that's Esau Edom, man. So I'll start up again. You know, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And see, and that's what he wants to ultimately do. You know, if it's all about Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man, keeping that protection on us, why this devil can't really put his hands on us right now. But this devil, man, trust me, you know, he does stuff through through the food, the weather, type of weird vibrations and things like that. This man works all types of wickedness to try to overthrow us, man. He wants to keep us at sin, not knowing who we are. And, you know, that's how his kingdom continues to flourish. You know, you wake up every day and this man's still ruling, you know, but it's all about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's time. You know, it's not about our time, you know. It's all about his plan, you know. So we just got to ride this thing out, man, you know, and continue on. All right. You know, here's another video here of military vehicles parked out at a Walmart, and a brother got to looking at it like, man, this is kind of strange. All right, so check this out.
What's going on? But man, I hear at Walmart they got Humvees out here.
Okay. All right. Now, moving on, we're gonna move to some articles. All right, I got this one right here. This was back on April 23rd from the U.S. Sun. And it says, store gone, Walmart abruptly closes store this weekend due to poor performance. Locals complain it will leave a food desert. You know, which we know the scriptures, there's countless scriptures. I've done lessons on the famine, you know, and probably be doing some more here soon because, you know, we have to keep, you know, this truth of ours is very repetitive. And these devils, man, they, you know, purposely removing these things and it's going to start hurting a lot of us, you know, Israelites, man, because predominantly when you look at these Walmart closings, it's always predominantly in neighborhoods where Jake dwell, you know, where both tribes, okay? So this is what this man is all about, you know? But he's saying due to poor performance, and I read the article and it was going also into like, they using the excuse of shoplifting and things like that, you know, and the times that we're in, you know, food is so high that Jake can't afford it, man. You know, like I budget my money, but I'm spending a lot on groceries every week, you know. You know, this, you know, inflation, man, is hurting us all, man. Okay? So there's that article there. All right? And then this is another article that says, this was back on April the 7th. And it says, Walmart tells hundreds of workers they have 90 days, which is 3 months, to find jobs at other locations. And it says, see list of store closings. You know, so they're showing, you know, a lot of these Walmarts, man, they're closing. And I went backtrack. I was doing a little research before going into this lesson and noticed, like, in the past, like, 8 to 10 years, it's not, there were a lot of Walmart closings, even back then, you know. And a lot of people are wondering if they're turning these places into, they were talking about it back then, if they're going to turn them into FEMA camps. You know, that was on the spirit back then. And I ultimately think that why that was happening is because, you know, how the elders and the apostles, they went into the MOTB back when this devil really was trying to push it out. This is when the YouTube came out and they went onto the YouTube and started exposing them. So it kind of like put a damper into this man's plans. But ultimately he was trying to usher the MOTB a while back, you know, and they went into exposing him, you know, with his moves, you know, and his truth began to flourish and stuff like that. People waking up. So it makes a lot of sense to why a lot of them were closing back then. Like we still got a lot of stores around here in my city. You know, there's old Kmart's and stuff like that are closed and stuff, you know, and ultimately they're probably going to turn those. And there's nothing that was done to some of those buildings. They might eventually turn them into, you know, these so-called FEMA camps, man. All right. So there's that article, and there's another one here. This is Insider. This was back on May 2nd. So this is a more recent one, and it says more than 2,100 stores are closing across the U.S. in 2023. And it says here's the full list, which it goes into a list of all types of stores and things like that. You know, I think Bed Bath and Beyond or whatever that store's called. You know, I never really shopped in there or nothing like that, but you know, I think they filed bankruptcy. You know, and you know, a lot of these stores are going out of business and stuff. You know, ever since the so-called pandemic. You know, it really put a damper on a lot of these businesses, and they haven't really been able to bounce back. You know, and then a lot of people are here. These Babylonians don't want to work. you know. So, you know, it's really bad out here right now. And it makes me think of a few scriptures I can pull out. You know, all this is Bible prophecy, man. You know, everything that these people they pull out, you know, or these articles, the things that they're doing, it's all in the scriptures, man. And you can back it up. This is why we bring it out, man, and to expose them. This is ultimately why they're trying to shut down this truth, okay? You know, going into like these store closings and things like that. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 12, and I'm going to read verses 3 through 4. And it says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. And remember how I just told you, like, it's not even a lot of workers, there are few. And those that look out of the window be darkened. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. And he shall rise up, you know, all right. Grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low, you know. And that's what you're seeing right now. You know, we're in a time where a lot of these jobs are shutting down, these businesses are shutting down, these buildings, you know, even with the digital currency and stuff like that, you know, they're trying to usher that in, you know, the collapsing of the dollar, you know, which we're going to get into that a little bit in the next lesson, and you know, a couple other lessons as well, because it's a heavy topic, man. It's a lot of articles, a lot of videos coming out on this stuff. All right, so give me a second, and I'm gonna pull up another precept, you know, just letting you know the times we are in. And this is I'm gonna go to the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm gonna read verse 1, and I'm gonna read this in the NLT, okay, you know, just so that you really get an understanding of the times we're in. All right, and it says, you should know this, Timothy, which Timothy was a prophet, all right, that in the last days there will be very difficult times. And we're in those difficult times, you know. You know, Matthew 24:8 says all these are the beginning of sorrows. So all these things I'm naming, all this is the beginning of sorrows, you know. So, you know, this is the time that we're in. You know, it's a heavy time. And another one too, like how I was going into that article, you know, where it says talking about the food and stuff like that will be, you know, it's going to be scarce and stuff like that. There's another scripture that backs that up as well. All right, this is 2 Ezra chapter 6, and I'm gonna start at verse 22, and it says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, which is seeing that the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And that's with these Walmarts and things like that as well. All right, and in verse 23, it says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. So people are going to be afraid, man, in those days. People are going to start panicking and things like that and losing their shit, man. All right, so moving on. I got this 9-minute video just going into the Walmart closings, you know, news, you know, clippings and stuff like that, and they're going into it. So you can check this out real quick, you know, and then I'll come back with some precepts and I'll end this lesson. All right.
Hundreds of customers are left finding a new place to shop.
A Milwaukee Walmart closing its doors. The store on Silver Spring near Appleton shutting down next month.
Shocker tonight for suburban shoppers. Walmart announcing it's closing 3 stores.
The stores to be closed are spread across the area from north to south in Lincolnwood, Plainfield, and Homewood.
It's kind of crazy. You don't hear of things like Walmart closing. Walmart.
There have been rules that have been changed that make it not something that the police are going to prosecute, or that the criminals won't be prosecuted below certain levels. Does that matter?
If that's not corrected over time, prices will be higher, and or stores will close.
A representative for the store saying this decision was not made lightly and was reached only after a thorough review process, adding that the company has 5,000 stores across the U.S., and some do not meet their financial expectations.
Walmart says they're closing both Portland locations because they were not meeting financial expectation.
We got to resolve the shoplifting one way or another, if that is simply the problem.
The reason, Walmart says, because of poor performance record. It, quote, did not meet Walmart's financial expectations.
It's like they're trying to starve the black neighborhood or something. I don't know what's going on, because it's always
crowded. It's always busy. It's always busy, but they never have nothing.
Well, Memphis police releasing surveillance video of the shoplifting spree at the Whitehaven Walmart tonight. We told you about the 22 people who raced into the business there and started grabbing items from the store, from TV sets to car batteries to Black Panther scooters.
And the reason is because they are tunneling under all of the Walmarts. Well, I say all. Probably not all, okay? It's a large number, and it's happening all over the United States. And there's a preponderance of evidence that I've been able to find. It all ties in back, and I'm going to show this in the special report, that it all ties in back all the way back into, actually probably into the 60s, but really started going in the 70s. Y'all guys have all seen this map before. It's a map that got leaked out onto the internet, and nobody knows where it really came from exactly, showing a tunnel network that supposedly exists coming in and out of Denver. And then there's a full-blown version of this map as well that shows more. And everybody's seen this map, but nobody has ever seen this part of the map. These other parts. I tracked down the original map, not just the cutout. Okay. Now the interesting things that you'll see about this full-blown version here. Let me pull this down. Everybody assumed that this map was from the 1990s because it had a 90 on it here. It's been said many times from the 90s. It's not from the 90s. This map was created in 1973. As you can see in the upper right hand corner here, it says 1973. It also says over here on the date on the left hand side, it says 1973. This map was, as a matter of fact, it even says 1960 something, but was stamped over, said 73. This map was put out in 1973 saying that these tunnel networks existed. So what this means is that these tunneling systems have been put in place since the 60s. As you can see here on the front of this drill, this is the Walmart logo. You're familiar with the Walmart logo, I'm sure, right? Walmart logo that looks like this. Okay. It is no coincidence that the markings on the front of this drill that they chose to put on there match the Walmart exactly.
Goes all the way to Washington, D.C., huh? Goes all the way to Washington, D.C. Yeah, you Homeland Security? Yeah. How far have you taken this down to, how far have you actually ran a load? About 100 miles? Up to Maine? No shit. How many miles do you think that is? Man, that's unbelievable. Not to mention, I heard there's one that goes all the way to Colorado, right? Unbelievable. What do you think you're hauling? Any idea? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Crack makes all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You don't really know.
Yeah. I know there's been a lot of military stuff being hauled around lately, that's for sure, huh?
Yeah, we deliver to military.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah. 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 Well, I appreciate, I heard there's water supply, food supply, everything's in there. Yeah, unbelievable.
If you don't get no cell phone service.
No. Peace, brother. basically, you got an underground roadway system here that runs all the way to Maine, to Washington, D.C., to Colorado. It's fully stocked. It runs completely underground. And you can see they've been hauling tons of military equipment. You know, they're stocking all these bases. Now, the other thing is the railroad system here is also very strategic. They're bringing in boxcar loads and they're dump shipping here, and they can really deliver to all these locations, which these locations go all the way to Area 51. These locations go all the way to Washington, D.C. There's access underneath the White House to this location, okay? So this is a strategic location, which is really the new command center for the Illuminati and the United States government. Well, forget the United States government. This is a headquarters for the Illuminati. This is where they'll ship most of their supplies. When they go underground, they can stay underground for quite some time.
And it's not only possible, it's probable, and it's not only probable, I feel confident that this is the case. Now, every one of these Walmarts do not have a tunnel system under it, I'm sure. But I can tell you that there are a lot of them that have tunnels. They've had 45 years, folks, back from the 1960s. Okay? It's not a coincidence. And I'm very happy that I was able to run across and track down this original map showing exactly what these things are. The legend here on this, just so you understand what it says, is that these circles are a subterranean base, and the lines are underground tunnels. The double dots, when you see a double dot like here in the center of Texas there, that's a underground nuclear facility. Okay? A single dot is a nuclear weapon facility. And a little star, it's kind of hard to make out which one of those are little stars, but they are a uranium storage location. Okay? Now, what I found interesting about this, and I don't want to go kooky on the whole story if it isn't kooky enough, is at these locations, some of them on this map from 1973, you will see another little symbol. See this little symbol right here, dead center of the map right now? A little symbol with a little squiggly line coming up and something that looks like, I don't know, what do you think it looks like?
Alright, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 14. And it says, woe to the world, which woe means destruction, woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Okay? So, like, you know, looking at all these things that are happening, man, you know, it's nothing but woes, man. You know, sorrows and stuff like that. Alright, and I got another precept, and I'll end it on this precept. Because, you know, going back to the FEMA camps, man, you know, told you in the scriptures earlier how they're going to be like madmen going around casting people out of their houses. You know, the scriptures also tells you that the devil's going to throw you in prison. All right, and this backs us up. All right, so give me a second so I pull this up, because this is in the book of Revelations chapter 2 and verse 10. And it says, fear none of these things. So we're not to fear none of these things, which thou shalt suffer. See, some of us may have to suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. All right? And that can go into these so-called FEMA camps and stuff like that. All right? That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death. And just in case you might have to lose your life. And I will give thee a crown of life. All right? So, Lord willing, this was edifying, you know, one of those quick, straight to the point lessons. But, you know, Lord willing, it was edifying. I want to give all honor, all glory, all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakodash. Double honors to the elders of the nation of Israel. Shalom to you brothers out there that are laboring, and you sisters that are listening. To the next episode, Shalom.